Hello, everyone. Blue Star Saber here with Lucky Chi.
Happy holidays, everyone!
Yes, it's just 2 days before Christmas. I am once again here to discuss Dead Rock with Lucky Chi. But granted, I wanted to do this sooner, but Lucky Chi kept just delaying this.
Well, there is this little thing called an outside life, so
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I do feel like this affects the view account, but oh well, never mind. We're here to review it
oh,
now.
that's what you care about.
Uh,
Someone's selfish.
Hey, you can't blame. Hey, just sorry for the fact that my Dead Rock chapter reviews get quite a bit more views than my usual content, but never mind.
I mean, to be fair, I've been wanting to talk about Dead Rock too. Like, I didn't have time to talk about the chapter until today, so let's tell you something.
But it's fine, people. Let's see. I'd like to try and I will try and review this when I can. But yeah, granted, I do wish that Lucky Chi was sooner, but because I've got like a whole lot more streams planned to discuss with him, and I'm unfortunately going to be delayed for a bit. But yeah.
Yeah, just for a few days.
Heck, the Boruto one. Let's see. The Boruto
You
one.
actually want to talk about Boruto? Shit.
Only because of what happened. Only because we learned what happened to Sasuke. But
Wow, so two blue vortex is actually doing something for me. That's a shock.
No, not really. I only really want to talk about what happened to Sasuke. Other than that, I don't really have interest unless Sakura somehow appears in it, which I doubt.
Uh,
But I only really want to talk about Sasuke and then not really talk about Boruto unless there's actually something that's interesting. I'd rather not review every chapter weekly.
I don't know, Blue. So far, it's been every 2 chapters. So far.
Well, now it's free.
Now, 5's okay. I'll just say that.
Also, speak closer to the microphone.
No worries.
I said speak closer to the microphone.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, we're here to discuss Dead Rock, in which let's see, last chapter, of course. Let's see, you had like a class F. Let's see, battling one of the 4 demon teachers,
Lozen,
who had who pretty much had
let's just say he was a creep.
Well, a creep that had infected students into zombies, pretty much.
Oh no, not just that. He did a whole lot more stuff than that because
Yeah, there are a lot more questionable things that if that any teacher in real life would do, they'd get cancelled.
Well, he's lucky he's in the demon world.
Yes, well, it seems like hell is just a kind of sick, twisted place that stuff can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least, the demon world. But yeah.
And look, I'm gonna say this right now. If y'all think this is too much, go check Berserk out because oh my god.
Arguably, yes. See, Berserk is probably the most some of the most disturbing things imaginable. I've never read it, but the things I've heard, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great story, but like the stuff that goes on in there, oh, it's a different case altogether.
Yeah, it's arguably something that I'd rather not. Let's see, something I'd rather not really look at. But yeah. But anyway. We're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about. We're not here to talk about Berserk. We're here to talk about Dead Rock. So pretty much after like
the
last chapter in which the students of Class F battled the teachers. Battled the teacher. Battled the let's see. What's the teacher's name again? Lozen. So you've had pretty much our main character, Yakuto, turn into a black dragon, and God showed up and kicked his butt, and now he's a prisoner. He's been offered to take down, how to take down God by a sort of demon girl.
Yeah.
So, that's what we have, and let's see, will you take this offer? Well, we're about to find out.
That's a good question.
So anyway, on to the actual chapter. But before that, we've got the Dead Rock cover.
This time on Frey.
Yeah, this time it's a character profile. Well, chapter 6, God Saves. Character profile of Frey. Her roof is Ifrit. Let's see, class 1F. She likes strong people and dislikes water. Well, that should be no surprise, really.
I was gonna say like that is like her natural opposite. So that's not a huge surprise.
So yeah. So yeah, we've got her let's see thing, and there's some notes about her older sister never graduated from Dead Rock, so she came here to graduate and surpass her sister. Stuff we all know, but since she found that Lozan humiliated her sister, she hates him. It also states that she likes Yakiko.
So if I were to take a guess based on this, I guess the argument could be said that she is the main female lead in that sense, but who knows?
Arguably, yes. You could say she is the love interest with a statement like that.
Yeah. I've got one nitpick with the profile. It's not necessarily like with like what's said per se, because I think it's good. I think the one drawback I do want to address is that we never get her sister's name, and I think the notes would have been a good spot to get that.
Yeah, I would have probably liked it if we did actually get the sister's name, at least some kind of details on like what she's like at the very least. Granted, I think at this point we're going to have to wait for possibly a Dead Rock data book if Hero ever actually does the effort to release one. Well, granted, it really depends on how long this manga series is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be longer than. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it might be longer than Fairy Tail Zero, because Fairy Tail Zero was 12 chapters. 13 chapters.
Yeah, it's going to probably be longer, and speak a bit closer to the microphone.
So, if I were to take a guess, maybe 20? 25. I'll give it that much. I don't think it's going to go past that. This is supposed to be a limited run.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, on to the actual chapter. The Demon Ruler. Is that a noise in your background, Nakichi?
It's just your audio.
Audio?
Audio. Your audio.
Well, fine, whatever. Anyway, the Demon Ruler Training Institution of Dead Rock. Let's see, we've got a narration of that, and we see the school. We pretty much see our Class F students minus Yakiko, all just sitting about. We see with their new teacher by the name of Saru, talking about how he's taking Maxwell's place. Let's see, as it says that his root is the great sage of the heavens, equal Class F teacher, which I think this is arguably, a reference to the sort of Monkey King or Monkey Sage that Dragon Ball is based off of.
Something like that. I mean, there's a little description at the bottom that says that he's based off of a Monkey King from Chinese literature.
Yeah, which I assume it's probably the one Dragon Ball is based off of.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, this isn't exactly anything new, because Hero's done this in the past with other series.
Yeah, that's not really all that surprising, but
Go on.
Let's see. So you pretty much let me just see which categories.
You've got Choco, you've got Honey.
Yeah, and I've got a way of finding the names. Oh yeah, you've got Choco pretty much laughing at the fact that the teacher's name is Saru and he's like a monkey, but he stares at him and then she shuts up and apologizes. Well, I believe you have Hani calling Choco stupid after just like one glare just terrifies her.
Yeah.
With the teacher talking about how there's a lot of went berserk at the death arena, with Raisin trying to say that was Yakiko. He says that regardless, he's in charge now, and he won't let them stick out of line like that again. Oops. Which you have just some of the students stare down. Let's see. And he says that regardless if it was Yakiko who did it, he's holding the entire class for responsibility for that, and they all get crushed by boulders, pretty much. No comment.
Interesting. All I gotta say.
But pretty much they all have the classic anime of kind of crushing thing. But they're all confused where it comes from, and Hani goes like, "Is this teacher stupid?" And he tells him to stay like that for a while, as that's some sort of like timeout punishment. As I think he ends up either closing the door. I think he's actually pushed them out into the hallway.
Yeah, that's the hallway.
But yeah, anyway, Yakiko is all injured, coming back, looking all depressed, kind of thing, and he's like shocked about what's happened to everyone here. With Raisin pretty much saying it's his fault. With I believe, whoops, sorry, wrong page. With Mikoto telling him that the whole class is being punished for his actions. And Frey asking if he could move all this boulders with him. He says that he can't, but they're just saying, why not do it? But let's see. With Hani saying that those boulders were a ton, but you pretty much have Yakito transform into the dragon arm, and dragon arm is able to blow him around. So he does do in the end, but with Makiko thanking him, but Frey does pointing out it is still his fault there in the first place, with him trying to apologize again. Raisin trying to kill Yakito, and let's see, pretty much I believe Heian and Hani just saying that he just caused them a bunch of trouble. Let's see, but they notice that the bird is gone, wondering if she's dead, but doesn't really seem to care too much.
That's the second time that Chaco's done that, and I mentioned this in the stream that I did earlier. But don't you think that's a little convenient that Chaco just disappears?
Are you starting to? Let's see. Well, you're now starting to give me a theory that Chaco might just be a spy.
I'm just saying. Because I'm like thinking, like, this is the second time.
Well, clearly, it's at the moment, it's just being a gag, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hero does some sort of subplot line with this.
Yeah.
But I do not see Chaco being sort of mascot.
Not a spy necessarily, but.
Sorry, what?
I said not necessarily a spy, but I just feel like there's something off about her.
So you believe there's some ulterior motive with her?
Something like that. Not in the sense that it's bad, but that there's something we don't know about.
Okay. Well, I'll just speak up a little bit, but anyway, but yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised that we get something with her later, though. Granted, she's so far being not like the other mascots that just usually try to help out the main characters. She just flees straight away.
Yeah.
When it comes to heroes, let's see, tropes for that type of character. But anyway, you've got Mikoto saying that the Black Dragon power is destructive forever, but Yakiko says, well, that's true, but says that's the best he can do right now. As we are cut back to when he's being tortured by the scubaist
Lilith?
teacher.
Yeah.
Lilith, yeah. So it's saying that saying that God has ordered to take his powers for him. And as she goes in a rather flirty way of saying, be a good boy for me. And he's going like, no, stop. Oh, wait, hold on.
Which, all right. And I made a comment about this in the stream I did. But if you look at that one panel, I think that more or less confirms exactly what she did.
Well, if you're referring to the flicking of the fingers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
and then him being drained afterwards. Yes, that is very strong implications of what she did.
I mean, it was like you could kind of get the idea that okay, it was implied in the last chapter. This one kind of just like outright says, yeah, that's exactly what she did. So
yeah. Now I really want to know just how old these characters actually are, because the implications here, Hero.
I mean, look, almost, and I said this in the last stream too. Look, the succubus characters, look, they can be hot for all they want, but that doesn't matter. I'm gonna turn sad. I'm gonna be like, look, you look good, but I'm gonna no. I ain't wasting my time with that.
But I've actually seen some controversy online about what this character did to Yakito, so yeah, can't really blame them, especially if depending on what the age of these characters are. Like I said, I mean,
see. No, but go ahead. You can still continue on with what you're saying.
Speak up, Lucky Chi. You're sounding quiet.
I said you could continue on with what you were saying.
But yeah, it's definitely the implications here really does make me want to ask a few questions. Now, granted, this is definitely not a manga I would have children read. That's for certain. Granted, I'd never have any children read Hiro Mashima's work.
Not even Rave? Wow.
That says a lot. No. At best, they have to be like teenagers for Rave.
Interesting.
But yeah, so she ends up revealing that she didn't take all of the power, as they need to have a certain amount of power to live in the school. So pretty much, Yakito only has like his dragon arm in the right side, and tells him to do his best with it. But yeah,
if I had to guess Yakito's age, I would say he's probably 17.
Well, that's kind of problematic then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's just kind of problematic.
Actually, let me see. How old was Haru? Like Natsu, I know for sure. Actually, no, Natsu's over 400. I can't even say that now.
Natsu is biologically, I believe, when the series was first introduced, 17. Then I believe at least even
like when you factor everything together, he's like over 400. He's like
well, he was born 400 years, but then jumped like 400 years into the future.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Aang situation. It's like that.
Well, arguably, but I'd still say he traveled in time still.
I know.
Right, so arguably, Aang was more stuck in the like an ice block, but Natsu traveled 400 years.
Let's see.
Anyway, but Natsu was like 17, I believe, when the series was first introduced.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. So Haru was 16. When it started. He was 16 when it started.
Yeah. Natsu was at least 17 when the series started. Then, let's see, by either the first time skip or the second one, he's 18. And then by the Fairy Tail Epilogue and 100-Year Quest, he is, 19.
I mean, if you take the 7-year time skip into account, he's technically like in his 20s.
Well, no, but he was frozen in time, so he's not in his 20s, Lucky Chi.
I know, I'm just saying.
I know, like, you want to do this technicalities, but that's not the case.
In Blue Star's world.
Knock it off, Lucky Chi. And Eden Zero's, none of the characters' ages have really been identified. But honestly, but the reason why I bring up the thing is because, let's see, when it comes to like stuff like that, and as well as fan service, I always like have a rule: just how old is this character before I recommend the series or anything like that. Anyway, are you done, Lucky Chi, or are you just continuing to search?
I'm just saying. So
speak up louder.
Let me see. Shiki was 16, which would probably put Rebecca at 16 too.
Wait, you're saying that's 16?
Huh?
That was 16?
17, actually. I'm looking at it. I thought it was 16.
Hold on. Really? Is there an actual age on Eden Zero?
Not on the wiki. I'm just looking it up based on.
What? Okay, based on what?
I mean, I was gonna say this. Like, if you look at their time skip designs, they're definitely like 18, 19.
I thought they were at least 20 or 21.
Around there.
Well, but anyway, I'd rather not get into the age topic now, but yes, but if he's like under the age of 18, I definitely say these scenes are kind of problematic.
Talking about Yakuto? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. If not, it's still technically problematic, but at least there's not the age thing.
Yeah.
Because the age thing is really the thing that concerns me, but yeah. I mean, we may have made some jokes about what happened last week, but this can be some very serious topics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. Anyway, Lucky Cheese, sort out your audio, but anyway, so let's see, he lost his right arm. Raisin and Huron ends up saying that he asking if he can't turn into a dragon. Well, let's see. Raisin says he's lost all his, so he can't turn into a dragon, and I believe Huron says, well, you do seem to lose your control of that form. Let's see, with Yakuto talking about how nearly all his powers were stolen for the last 3 days. But he does think that some of his efforts did bear fruit, as he's found someone who can help kill God. Thinking of the cat lady, as she tells him that she's told him that God has a weakness written in the books, and it's in the Dead Rock Library, Car Felicity, with Makoto talking about how that's a gigantic library that holds all the demon books in the world. So he asks all of them to help him try and find that book, but Raisin has had enough and tells him he must be out of his mind. With Mikoto talking about how she has no intention to help. Same with her Rayan, saying that he's being too selfish. And Hani says that he has no reason to kill God. With Frey saying that she'll help him, since it'll be her chance to kill Lozen. She'll do whatever it takes. But she demands that she tells him why does he want to kill God so badly. And Yakuto's silent for a moment. And this is where Mikoto says that she wants to know. Hani also says, depends on your answer, I may or may not help you out. With Raisin says that he's just out completely. And Rain saying he's not interested. But he'll listen to what he has to say anyway. Since, granted, as Rain says, if you let's see, after all, his goal is to graduate from the school, and if he's planning to destroy Dead Rock, you might have to cut him down himself. So they'll all listen to him serious, as Rain says to tell them, and Yakuto finally relents and says, let's see, all right. And then we got back to 10 years ago at level 644 or 644.
Yep.
Which we're now in a place called the Black Dragon Village, Ricket Horizon. We see a lot of people like Yakuko here.
Actually looks really nice. I'll say that.
Yeah, it looks like something you would see in maybe Fairy Tail or, let's see, Rave Master.
Yeah. I definitely say more of Rave Master than I would Fairy Tail. It looks a little more classical, I would say.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that would stick it out to Fairy Tail are those statues of the Black Dragons.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
But anyway, as people look around, they notice that Yasuma-sama is back. They're all excited about it. Yakuto turns around and you see this dude that looks like I guess you could say Gildarts with a sort of ponytail and
see,
let's see, spiky. Let's see, and I guess a sort of buzzcut Luxus hairstyle.
See, I didn't see Gildards or Luxus. The immediate person I thought of was, oh my god, what's Inari's stepdad's name from Naruto? I thought about him for some weird reason.
Inari, hold on. Inari, Naruto. Let me just take a look.
Inari's dad.
You're talking about. You're talking about Kaiser.
Yeah, him. Kind of. Not exactly the same, but he kind of reminded me of him a little bit. Not necessarily the hair, but just how he's built. Kind of reminds me of that.
Maybe, but I think it's the hero's design looks more like the sort of Gildarts type.
I guess.
Or at least maybe even Silver from Fairy Tail. I don't know, some sort of like father figure you'd see, or maybe even Luxus, I guess. But anyway, we learn that this guy is Yakuto's father. Yep. And then he gets all lovey-dovey. He's going like, how you been? Welcome home. And he's like excited. Daddy's home. With then it's just the Yakuto's mother showing up, telling him not to treat Yakuto like a baby anymore. And we learn that her name is Rizura from the father. And goes like, oh, my beloved life, I love you so much. And a bit lovey-dovey, but with a bit more of a lustful tongue sticking out.
I thought this was actually kind of amusing. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, it is hilarious, though. I will admit the tongue is a bit over the top.
It was that was his tongue. I thought he was just he was biting with his teeth.
You thought that was his teeth?
I looked. Yeah, I didn't see the tongue part. But,
okay, clearly, Lucky Chi, you need to pay more attention to detail.
Let me see. Hold on. Is it his tongue?
Yes, it's its tongue.
Oh, I can see it now. Now I can see it. I didn't see it swirl around.
But yeah,
that's what she said.
But yeah, she says not to act like this in public, and not to swab around the mouth or you'll mess up her makeup. And he's like, oh, but says only when we're alone, okay? And then he drags her up, saying they're going to be alone right now.
I know, like the man wasted no time. He said, "All right, you want to be alone? Let's go right now." I'm like, shoot.
Okay. And you pretty much have all the villagers laughing, though. Granted, let's see. I'm not sure if I really laugh about what he's about to try and do with her. I think, but I don't know. I guess they find it cute. Let's see. But one of the elders tells that he must be glad that he's glad to see that his father's returned home. With Yakuto saying that his dad is strong. With the villagers commenting that his job is really something else, and apparently he's a part of God's personal guard. The God Saves, as apparently they're called.
I call it the GS.
That's the G. Well, I guess that does sound better. Granted, let's see, all the gods would sound better than that. I'm not really a fan of the name, or let's see, granted, I can understand maybe not using God's Knights because that's what One Piece is doing right now with with the Figarland family and the Celestial Dragons. So
let me see. Hold on, I'm gonna try to come up with a synonym for that.
Could you speak up, Akichi?
What about Paladin? God's Paladins. Yeah.
I guess that name could work.
Or I think I better. Let's try this one. The Champion of Gods. Go with that.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much we've got this new let's see organization with guards though. So who knows if if they're still around, we may end up having them as antagonists as well. Besides those 4 teachers,
it's possible.
But it does seem to be that let's see, Hero's doing a bit more world building of different like groups within God's hierarchy.
Yep, he sure is.
But anyway, the village at the very least. Let's see. The villagers at the very least talk about how he was like he's the pride of their village and black dragons and how he's been one of God's warriors. Now Yakuto questions, isn't God the strongest in the demon world? In which he says, in the demon kingdom, no, saying that he's strongest in all three worlds, heaven, the demon world, and the human world. The strongest living being, so to speak. So we do have confirmation that heaven does exist in the world of dead, in the universe of Deadrock. Because we know we had the human world and the demon world, but that's about it. But he ends up asking, if he's that strong, why does he need God saves? Saying that with the elder explain that the greatest enemy of God is those that lack faith. So they fight that God saves fight to purge, and those foolish enough not to believe in God. And we get a lot of these Yakuto's dad in front of all these black silhouettes, which clearly characters we haven't seen, and from the looks of things, there's at least 5 of them.
Yeah, so what that's telling me is we're probably gonna get them at some given point.
Yeah, so but yeah, and it makes me think that even though you think there's going to be like 25 chapters, Lucky Chi, I will say with a group of these 5 antagonists add to the 4 like head teachers.
That's 9.
Yeah. Yeah, 9 villains you have. So, and not to mention that unknown one, person that should have graduated with us to Class F. This makes me think the series is going to be a bit longer than 20 to 25 chapters.
We'll see.
But yeah. But anyway, later at night, you have Yakuto sleeping, and all the villagers are outside looking, but they all wonder, with Yakuto's mom wondering what's going on out there, with his father saying there's something outside, and it's actually God. The villagers are all excited that he's come to this village and all that, but he's acting if Yozuma is here, with him him revealing his presence for that. But then he ends up looking, down and then asks, is that your wife? And all that lovely wife, as he introduces Riza to him, with her being polite and saying, it's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. But then you see God sticking his tongue out in a rather lustful thing, as he declares that he wants to have a night with his wife, which, shocks Yakuza, Riza, and the villagers. Yakuto was just starting to wake up. He's excited to see God there at first, but Yakuza is a bit confused, thought he might have misheard or doesn't understand what God's trying to say, saying that he wants to take good care of her, though says that she might lose some limbs, but she'll give her back. But Yakuza, Riza's getting a bit terrified now, but Yakuza is asking, are you joking right now? Dead serious, with him saying he doesn't joke. And he says that his orders are absolute. If you have, those who have faith should offer up their wife, should be that him who's should have faith in him, should be offering up his wife, and it should be considered a mere trifling matter, if you will, which sort of angers him as he states that, he's a member of his personal guard. And he says he has no use for those who have faith. With Yakuza saying that God is not himself right now. With Yakuza just looking on a bit concerned. And God ends up unleashing his power, causing a sort of massive hurricanes, destroying all the villagers, and you see all the dragon people being blown away by the wind, and it looks like they're being sucked away a bit as well, depending on the panels, or at least it seems like the wind's piercing them. With Yakuza saying, who is this person where's he declaring God, as he's just laughing, and then you see both Yakuto's parents dead and him just staring in disbelief. As he tells them that his family, this tells the members of Class F that his family and all the other villagers were massacred by God, and you just see all the others just stood there silent shock, though Rain doesn't seem that affected by it, and says that the God they currently have is a fake, so he can't let him live, and that ends the chapter.
I'm gonna just say this right now. I felt for Yakuto. Like, that actually kind of hit deep with what happened.
Yeah, in many ways, you can see why he wants to kill God at the very least. Which,
I mean, I have seen some people go like, I don't know, that kind of makes him less cool. I'm like, well, I mean, do you blame the kid? Because
well, I can suppose I can understand to some extent, because it's like, oh, there must be this mysterious motive, but then it's like, oh, it's just revenge.
Yeah.
As it's a very common cliche, and arguably Naruto, one of the most famous anime and mangas of all time, literally had the second main character whole life being about revenge.
But I mean, like, that's storytelling in general, though. Like, that's not just an anime thing.
But yeah,
there have been tons of stories that have like the whole revenge plot line. I mean, even for a time, if you look at Attack on Titan, Aaron's whole objective was, let's get rid of the Titans because of what happened to his mom. You know?
Yeah, arguably, yes. It's revenge is one of the usually main motivators, and there's all kinds of stories saying that revenge is good, revenge is bad.
I mean, Magneto is a good example too.
Yeah, arguably, yes, but I think this might be why people are complaining, and some are saying like it might just be too much of a cliche.
Yeah.
When it looked like he was building up something mysterious. Granted, I'm not really surprised by this backstory, given that Grief tease, I think, in chapter 2 or chapter.
It was chapter 3. I double checked on it. It was like towards the end of chapter 2 where we're getting to that tease that something happened.
Okay, just speak up a little bit, Lucky.
I was saying that, like, I checked back at chapter 3, and that's kind of where you get that tease of what happened. Yeah,
so yeah, I'm personally not so yeah, I can definitely see why, but yeah, so yeah, I'm not surprised that this is the direction that he went with, but yeah. But anyway, so what do you make of the
I was gonna say this. It's not necessarily that people are upset about that. It's more so about the whole God being a fake ordeal, where people are like, okay, that I don't know.
Let's see. Well, people are suspecting that. Let's see. Well, granted, I'll say. Let's see. The whole thing with God being a fake. At the moment, Yakuto and even Yakuza think that God is a fake, but I wouldn't be surprised that this is what they think. But actually, this is what God, at least this person who claims to be God, is actually like.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does throw an even greater. What's the word I want to use here? A greater emphasis of mystery behind his character, because if you look at what Yazuma said, he basically outright just said, like, hey, I'm a part of your personal guard. You're not acting like who you are. And he even goes on to say, like, just who are you? So, I mean, because if you're a part of the personal guard, you have a pretty good idea of, like, how your ruler is like, you know?
Arguably, yes, unless God has just not shown this side to him until now.
That's possible.
So that is just one aspect that here could go down, because there are people that act one way towards a certain group and then act differently towards another group, depending on who they're with, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your politicians all the time.
Oh boy, we're going back to this discussion.
I'm joking. I'm making a joke.
I know, but it just seems like you like to bring that up.
Well, I know that's just like the best example I can think of. But if you want, I could go like a sort of celebrity that's like, I love all you fans, you're the best. And it's like, and then behind the scenes, it's like, these guys are so annoying. I want to be done with them. You happy?
Well, it's slightly better, but
anyway, first things first. The one thing I do like that we've got an actual new teacher for Class F.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that it is actually a Monkey King. It's like, okay, that's a bit more creative than Maxwell, who was just pretty much a rip-off of Max from Fairy Tail.
Was he? He didn't look exactly like him.
It's not exactly, but you can see, but you can clearly tell that the designs is based off of him.
I guess.
Which I wouldn't be surprised that when if Dead Rock and Fairy Tail ever have a crossover, they'll be like, and if they ever see Max, they'll be like, "Wait, is that Maxwell? Didn't you kill him, Yakuto?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" But yeah, it's no surprise. I'm not surprised that they've gotten a new teacher because God did figure out that Maxwell was a puppet spy.
Yeah.
So but yeah. But I do like how this guy is a bit of like no nonsense attitude.
I do like that also.
Yeah, I do like the sort of like and he doesn't seem to take jokes at him slightly, given what Chakito did earlier. But I do like how he's collectively punishing all the students because it's like this is a way. In some ways, this is a way of like making sure they don't. Oh, let's see. They all don't try to team up with Yakiko. And you can clearly see that kind of works a bit because they're all pissed at him. Or at least the majority are.
Yeah.
But all that. So, yeah. Granted, I'm hoping this teacher will last a while, but who knows?
He might. There's a chance.
Let's see, but who knows? But we don't know. After all, nearly every teacher we've seen that's been introduced in the series has been killed, or at least member of staff has been killed in the chapter they've introduced. Though, granted.
I mean, Lilith has been around for a bit, so there's that.
Well, yeah. Well, except for like the four main demon teachers.
Yeah.
They're so far the only ones that have so far lasted long. But yeah. But anyway, he seems to have Earth-based powers, which, as far as I can tell, none of the four main teachers have so far shown elemental-based abilities. So this might be something a little different from what Hero tends to do with like a group of four, where they usually have one of the four elements, and Earth being one of them.
It is different.
So yeah, I do like that, but well, I do kind of like that Yakuto was a bit depowered for a while, though depending on how long he's in this depowered state, may depend on how long the series lasts.
I mean...
Speak up, Lucky Chi.
I'm trying to think, because if Chapter 3 is the end of Volume 1, I was kind of debating with myself on this on my own stream, on whether or not this was the end of Volume 2, or if we're getting one more chapter for this.
One more chapter of what?
For this current volume that we're on. Like, I was debating if this was the end of Volume 2, or if we're going to get Chapter 7, and that's going to be the actual end of the second volume. That's what I was thinking.
Wouldn't Chapter 8 be the end of this, or did it was only the first 3 chapters in volume?
No, remember what I told you in the last stream is that they had like the table of contents come out, and with those table of contents, you kind of get only the 3 chapters that are there. So
wait, what contents were in the volume? Could you speak up a bit?
So the table of contents of Dead Rock Volume 1 only has the first 3 chapters.
Yeah.
So
did they add some other behind-the-scenes stuff in the volume? Is that what you're saying?
I'm assuming. I mean, Chapter 1 was pretty long, so...
Okay, so first 3 chapters here, and first 3 chapters in the first volume, and next, this Volume 2 so far has Chapter 4, 5, and 6, so yeah, arguably, if it's like... Most monthly manga have 4 chapters in a volume, so yeah, this Chapter 7 should be the last one.
It should be the last one, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, arguably the last one, and arguably will be whether or not the members of Class F decide to join Yakuto in his crusade against God. But yeah. But speaking of that, I do. Let's look around to them. But first, just even though we probably debated this for like 10 or so minutes with the whole Scoopabus with Lilith, I'm mixed on this because on one hand it's like, let's see, Hero, you're going dark there, which I suppose is ballsy, but I'm wondering if this is too far, and especially if it turns out Yakuto is under the age of 18. That
I mean, see, I've been keeping up with the whole Dead Rock thing since he was talking about it. And one of the things Hero did say was that as far as like how things are gonna go, it might go in a few places that not even Ray, Fairy Tail, or even Zero went, which kind of got me curious. I'm like, okay,
yeah, I'm fine with that to an extent, even though I will admit this is maybe crossing my comfort zone a bit.
yeah.
No, I will say I will have some problems if it's under the age of 18. Just because I think that's crossing a bit too far the line. Don't laugh, Lucky Chi.
I'm just, I just think it's funny.
I don't. It's sorry, Lucky Chi. I just don't find that kind of like subject matter to be kind of funny.
I know. We are talking about a fantasy story, though.
Yeah, I know it's a fantasy story, but still, I don't really like this. Even I can be a bit uncomfortable even with characters under that age.
I know.
It's why I have usually issues with most fan service and most anime and mangas. Unless like well, it's so yeah. Now, granted, yes, it's dark, mixed feelings. Granted, depending on what I learn about the characters later, may or may not affect my opinion on like this scene a bit more. But at the moment, let's see, the dragon powers are just onto the right arm. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he tries and regains his powers, or if it's going to be a long-term thing or a short-term thing, depending on how it goes. I think will determine the length of the series.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is interesting to learn that there is apparently let's see that there is a weakness of God that's written into this that is written in a book called this Kara Felicity, and it's somewhere in Dead Rock's library, which well, it meant not really what I was expecting, since I was expecting that it might have been the building itself that's a weakness of God. And not actually.
I mean that would explain why God was talking about like, hey, any property of school damage results in a violation of like the school rules. That would explain a few things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That would definitely explain it, but at the moment it seems to be just this something that is written in the book. Now, granted, it could still end up being something connected to Dead Rock, but at the moment, it's just this moment, this written key thing, which clearly there's going to be some sort of book library arc, or at least mini arc in this series. And at some point, we're going to go in the library, and arguably, this is where we're probably going to get more on this like cat girl and whether or not she is, or this Nico girl. And whether or not she is actually wanting to work with Yakiko and the others, or so like perhaps just setting him up.
I've seen, now here's one thing, and I came across this last night, but there's a theory going around that the Neko girl is probably Chaco. It's what I've been seeing.
So people are theorizing that Chaco's actually this Nico girl.
Yeah. Because they kind of have like the same scarf, and I'm like thinking that might be going a little bit too far. But I mean, I guess it would explain something.
Hold on, let me take a look. Let me take a look at Chaco. Maybe.
I mean, it's a bit of a reach for me too. That's why I'm like thinking I could see it, but actually, let me see the Neko Girls design again. Maybe that'll help.
I don't think she has a wiki page yet, since she's not named.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an annoying, but
let's see. The scarf. Chaco.
Granted, I think Chaco has black wings, so I don't know if there's something that's similar to like if there's something similar, if like there's some sort of similar patterns on like the Neko Girl's wings, I could arguably maybe believe it.
Let's see. I want to look at chapter 5.
Speak up a bit, Lucky Chi.
I said I want to look at chapter 5 too because that didn't even cross my mind until I read that comment. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 5. I mean, let's see. She's got black sleeves on her outfit, and a bit of Chaco's wings are kind of got the black design to it too. Maybe I don't know.
It's possible. It would be a sort of good twist on the sort of Nico and the sort of mascot trope that Hero does. So
yeah, it would.
But we'll have to wait and see. So arguably, it could be possible that she's doing this form just to spy on Class F.
Could be.
But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what this plot line is. And by the way, Lucky Chi, speak up on your microphone again. But anyway, so but I do like how at this point you've had, but after when you asked them to help him find the book, this is where you got many of the other members of the Class F being like, "Oh, you know what? I'm not helping you," or like, "Are you crazy?" and all that, or at least revealing their intention of not Ritzy wanting to help, as they have, of course, they have no reason to kill God, and given what they've seen in the last chapters, like, you already lost against him once. Why should we help you? Even though that bit's not really stated. The only one that is interesting to do it is, of course, Frey, in which partly because she likes Yakito as like the cover, like the info page is, and also the fact that she has a motivation to kill. She also has the motivation of killing Luzin, so she has a reason to go against God at the very least. But I do like how she's like, okay, if I'm going to help you, you got to tell me what this whole thing with, like, what your beef with God is, because, like, you can't hide it.
And I mean, if we look at, like, main character motivations, especially for, like, Hero, like, Yagato does stand out. Like, because, and I'll say it like this, like, Haru from Rave Master is more like how Luke is in the original Star Wars trilogy. That's the best comparison I can make with Haru. And Natsu, for the most part, his entire goal was trying to find Igneel. And then with Shiki, it's about going on this adventure to find
Mother.
Yeah.
Arguably, yes. Let's see. Natsu, Shiki are more like to try and find something. Though arguably, they did also have the later quests of stopping Agnologia, and then let's see for Natsu, and then Shiki to stop his grandfather.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But stuff like that. So you could in argue words with Dead Rock, it's probably skipping the quest to find something instead, planning to kill someone.
Yeah.
So arguably that's going on, but yeah. Which I will say is arguably probably more fitting for a more darker storyline like Dead Rock compared to the more adventure like adventures of like the fantasies of Rave Master and Fairy Tail and sci-fi that's Eden Zero.
Yeah.
But I do like it, like I said, but anyway, I do like that even though let's see the students that do want to know, only half of them are interested in possibly teaming up with him, which seems to be Makito and Hani, depending on what he says. But you've got like Raisin and Hion saying that regardless of what you say, we're not wanting to go let's see do it. Raisin, it's obvious because he finds this plan to be completely bonkers. But Ryan pretty much states that he needs to graduate from Dead Rock, so he clearly has a purpose that only can happen by graduating from Dead Rock here. And he says that if Yakito is going to get away in the way of this, he will cut him down.
It kind of now, okay. Me, I know that's just a warning, but that does make me wonder if Hero is potentially setting up a Hein versus Yakuto matchup in the future.
I wouldn't be surprised at the very least, because like you do have like at one point we have your friends or like rivals battle you for at least one time before teaming up in the future. But then again, it could be very well that Haya never actually does team up with Yakuto in the end and ends up being one of his enemies. But who knows?
Because I was going to say, you had that happen with Fairy Tail with Natsu and Gray. Actually, on both sides of the spectrum. Like, you had it where Natsu had to take on Gray when Gray was infiltrating Avatar, and then vice versa, Gray had to take on Natsu when he was in his END form. So,
well, they started to transform into END, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, arguably, yeah. But I do like how at this point Yakuto is finally willing to tell them, and I think arguably probably best that this is done sooner rather than later. Because you need this backstory.
I mean, we knew we were going to get his backstory at some point based on what we got in Chapter 3, so...
Yeah. I'm not sure if people expected this to be a more longer term, but I'm fine with it being more in the shorter term.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, we've already commented about what we liked about the villages, but what do you make of Yukito's father, Yazuma?
I like him. I mean, again, he only showed up for this one chapter, but I thought he was cool.
I will admit, it definitely does look like he's looks like a bit of a hardcore person, though. Granted, it's kind of that completely shattered when he's in front of his son and wife. Though, like I said, I do think he's a bit too lustful towards his wife.
I mean, let's be fair, Blue. Like, if like, let's say you got a girl, like, don't pretend like you would act the same way with her. Like, okay, let's go back.
Let's see. Now, would I be this lovey-dovey if I had a
Maybe
girl?
not in public, but I mean, like, when we're like
when you're alone.
Yeah, when you're alone, obviously.
Okay, fair point. Now, perhaps I wouldn't be that ritzy enthusiastic with the tongue.
Well, yeah, no, that's just animated by itself. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, but you could. Well, it is interesting that there are people in the demon world that can have happier lives here. Because,
ironic, right?
Yeah, because, well, the demon world seems to be just pretty much hell, pretty much. Or at least
that's kind of what I like about this series is that, like, it's not like your typical description of how hell is portrayed.
Well, yeah, because like in every religion, hell is like the evil place where you'll be tortured for eternity and you don't want to stay there. So, believe in like whatever you need to for like each of those religions and faith.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, be a good person at the very least. But yeah. Well, yeah. So, but yeah, it's interesting to learn. But like I said, it is interesting to learn more about these God save groups. But well, granted, I'm still not a fan of the name.
Yeah, the name's like my one. That's like a super nitpick, though. That's my thing.
But yeah. So yeah, it is not a. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but I do like how Yukito does end up questioning like why on earth God needs like a group of bodyguards and all that. But it's like but we learn the purpose of those to just quash the enemies of like who lack faith in God. Though granted, a group like that does kind of imply that yeah, this guy isn't really a decent person, even though Yuzuma says that, let's see, this isn't like you. So it's like, even if he doesn't usually act like the way he was in front of them when he wiped out the village, I would say this kind of group just destroying God's enemies is still a bit questionable.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's part of the reason why I don't think that God is in any way was a good person to before. It's apparently this fake one, if it is actually a fake one. But yeah, other than that, like I said, I do like the designs. Now, granted, it's mostly the two up in front of him that mostly sticks out. But yeah. But anyway, but I will admit, God is a bit, let's see, very blunt about what he wants to do to Raisin, which I think also Hero, like Hero says, he's going places.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. From what we now, granted, can I believe that God would be like this, given that we saw him at the end of the first chapter with a harem of girls in the nude? Yes, I can probably believe that he is like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that, though. Granted, I do like how
it does add up more mystery to him. So
yeah,
there's that.
That is true. But yeah, but I do like how Yuzuma, who normally seems to be quite the loyal person, is like will take it very serious if anyone tries to like harm his wife. So yeah, props to that. But yeah, but I will admit it is very impressive that but I think it was very impressive that you had God just wiping out an entire village of black dragons with just God's hurricane, if you will. So it does make me wonder if like Yakuto is the last of his kind as well.
It's possible.
Which I wouldn't blame it. But granted, I think given how the first few chapters are saying like Black Dragon, this is rare. I do wonder if there's any sort of propaganda story about what happened to the black people dragon. I wouldn't be surprised if God says that they defied him and all that stuff, so they were wiped out, and the rest of the demon world said like, yeah, okay, that's fair. But yeah, so the dead parents things, but yeah. But I do like how you see many of the members of Class F with their shocked faces, but Hien just seems to cold dead stare. It does make you wonder.
I think it's one of those things of like he's trying to play it cool, but he knows in his head like, yeah, okay, yeah, that is pretty messed up. That's how I took it. It's like he's not showing it; he's just keeping it straight.
But yeah. But I do like the sort of that they finally got on that they're all like I'm shocked because like okay yeah this guy's so yeah God actually did this and it's like they get a very understanding of why he wants to kill God. But yeah. Now, granted, I am curious to see which ones will be fully on board with this. Now, granted, we know Frey is going to join regardless because she has her own reasons to want to go against God. It's the others that I'm curious if they're going to join. Mikoto, I can possibly see joining. I think maybe Hanin would possibly join as well.
I kind of want to. Here's the thing. I kind of want to know what Mikoto's backstory is. Like, I've loved her character so far, but I kind of want to know what her,
I do believe we will get backstories to all these characters, but
yeah,
we may have to wait at the moment. But yeah,
true.
But yeah, Raisin, I'm not sure if he is going to join Yakuto and taking God down after hearing this story or still be like, no. The only one I think that still might not be on like Yakuto's side just yet will be Hien.
Yeah.
That's the only one I think that might just not be that's just still might not be on board with killing God just yet, or if he never will. We just have to wait and see on that part. But yeah, so I do like that we've now got the motivations and let's see, the whole class knows, and arguably in the next chapter we'll arguably find out whether or not they will or not do it, and then afterwards it may be the sort of searching for this book that apparently has God's weakness will be the next arc, which arguably might mean that the next antagonist will be the librarian.
I could see it.
It's like no one touches the books in the archive or something like that.
I mean, if we think about it, let's see, because chapter 3, I'm going to pull this up since that's where volume 1 ends. Chapter 3 ends, yeah, so Neko Girl shows up. Okay, so that's basically when Maxwell gets taken out, essentially. But, yeah, so so far, at the very least, the whole Death Arena stuff, that only covered 2 chapters. So it's possible, actually, that the library stuff could probably be like 2-3 chapters, give or take. And I'm saying that because you know there's going to be a fight that happens. That's why.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be at least a fight against someone there. Now, arguably, it could be one of the 4 demon teachers, or it could possibly be a librarian.
Mm-hmm.
That's normally my guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's arguably what I do. But arguably, first thing is we'll just see the students' reactions on whether or not they will team up with Yakuto, and then possibly the latter half, like probably looking for this book. Unless some hero just decides completely turns it with something else entirely next week. We'll just have to wait and see.
You mean next month?
Next month, yes, sorry.
Actually, wait, when did this chapter come out?
I think this was the chapter came out December.
Well, it's December right now.
Yeah, so next month, will be when next Dead Rock chapter is.
Let's see, so 18 days ago, so that was probably the 5th. Yeah, it was the 5th. So probably around the 5th was a Tuesday, which would probably mean, if I'm timing this correctly, January 2nd will probably be when we get chapter 7.
So either the first week of like January, or maybe possibly the second week.
I mean, hey, it'd be the day after New Year's, so good gift. That's all I gotta say.
Arguably, but yeah. But anyway, now Lakichi, what's your overall score with this?
I'm gonna give it pure perfection.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
You're giving this a 10 out of 10?
Yep. I was originally gonna give it a grade, but that backstory kind of like elevated it for me.
Oh well, let's see. You might find me controversial here, but my score, I think, depends on what I later learn down the line.
I think. Oh,
yeah. But, currently, my score is an 8 out of 10. It's a pretty good chapter, like the backstory of Yakuto, this new teacher, and like the members of Class F being like let's see, very let's see, finally starting to question Yakuto. Okay, why do you actually want to kill God? Answer us. Mm-hmm. And so there's that. But the only thing that could arguably ruin this chapter for me, let's see, is depending on what happens with the age of like Yakuto and the rest of the cast, because then that whole thing with the Scubus teacher will be a bit like too far for me. I'm just saying.
I can understand that.
Yeah, see, so it's like I mean, granted, arguably it's probably too far south, but let's see. But age is one of those things that I'm just concerned about when it comes to subjects like this. But yeah, but overall, it is a very good chapter.
It is.
But yeah, so so I'm looking forward to the next one. Lucky Chi, thank you for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon to discuss the next sort of chapters to do. Though granted, we'll have to see what happens, as next week I'll be at we'll be with family for the week because it's like the Christmas holidays.
Of course.
We'll see what's what.
Yeah.
But for now, for those who end up listening, I hope you enjoyed what we had to say. And sorry if we go on too much about ramblings over certain subjects, but for now, I am Blue Star Saber.
I'm Lucky G7.
And we are signing off.
Happy holidays!
Yes, I hope you all have a lovely Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if you don't see us again soon. But for now, bye for now.